Okay, so here's our rectangle class. I've made a couple little modifications to it that I'll talk about, but nothing big. So we see here is the class declaration. I've got a main program, and then I have all my member functions implemented down below. All right, what we're going to do with this is we're going to create a rectangle class, and that means we're going to take the declaration out, and we're going to take all of the functions out of this main program, and we're going to put them into a library. And this library requires two parts. It's going to contain a header file and an implementation file. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just going to take the class declaration, and I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to right click on header files and say add new item. Right, it's going to be a header file. It's going to be called rectangle. The name of this file should match the name of the class, and we're working with the rectangle class. So I just pasted only the class declaration into the header file. Now we're going to create what's called an implementation file, and that's going to contain all the member functions of the class. So I'm going to take them out of here, and I'm going to add a second source file. So I'm going to say add new item. It's going to be a CPP file, and it's also going to be named rectangle. So I'm just going to paste all my functions here. So now we have a header file and an implementation file. Notice they both have the file name rectangle. They just have different extensions. And this is really creating a rectangle library that can be reused in other programs. The one thing that we need to be aware of in our implementation file, rectangle.cpp, is this file is going to have some include statements in it. I'm just going to borrow some from my driver program because I need to include IOStream and using namespace standard in here because there are cout statements in this code. And the other thing that has to be included in here is my my rectangle header file. Goodness. Okay. So you'll notice the difference in the include statements. The ones that are built into C++ have the less than greater than sign around them. The ones that we create have double quotes around them, and you do need to put the .h here. And that means to look in the current file and folder for this. This means to look in the default folder where the libraries are located. And the only last change I'm going to need to make is now I'm gone into my rectangle driver program, and this is going to have to include my rectangle library as well because I'm using that data type in here. And now I can go ahead and I can run this, and it'll run just like it did before. The only difference is we have broken this into three files. The header file and the implementation file, which are the two parts of the library, and then the main program. And you'll notice the name of my main program is Rectangle Driver. A driver program is generally just a main program whose sole purpose is to test the functions in your class. So you could see in my example here, this is testing the default constructor. This is testing the constructor with two parameters. Here I'm testing set length, set width, display. And then inside of my display functions, you actually call all of the get functions, get length, get width, get area. So when I run this program, I am testing out all of the functions in my class. So my main program is very short now, and again, the idea behind this library is once it's been created and tested to ensure that it works correctly, the rectangle rectangle library that contains a rectangle class can be reused with other main programs.